Okay, now I'm live. I'm streaming live now, I believe, on YouTube. So we should be able to pick it up. Let me double check here and be sure. But anyhow, WB4NKL and WB4NKM. This is N4LQ. Go ahead, Cliff.
N4LQ with WB4NKM. It's WB4NKL. All right, Steve. I'll have to get over here. I'm at a bench where I don't have a computer right now, but I'll get over to it and check it out in a minute. Good deal. I was wondering about your little G63. If you got a chance to check it out. I really like the looks of that receiver. I've never have used it all that much, but I like the looks of them. I seen that one down there, and I didn't even look close at it because I didn't need two of them. But I'm glad you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got some stuff here. I'm all messed up. I'm going to have to get in here and make a few adjustments to my program. Let's see here. I got
sort of
shoo, boy, I tell you, I'm a mess today. I'm trying to find this thing here, live stream. Anyway, it's taking its time. Yeah, I got it named wrong because I didn't take the time to change the name, so it says Old Friends Net, so I've got to correct that. Anyway, yeah, the G63, that thing, that's going to take a lot of work because he told me that it didn't work, and he said, I got some things, I thought it was kind of working a little bit, but there's something else wrong, I can't figure out what it is. Well, then in the band switch knob, which looks just like the main tuning knob, was cracked and loose. And by the time I got home, it was gone. I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared on me. So I've lost it. Boy, there's another knob gone. So anyway, I'll get it, hopefully get it working anyway. But it's kind of a neat little receiver, and it's got a Q multiplier. And I think that'll be a big benefit. So there you go. WB4NKM, N4LQ.
4LQ in the group. WB4NKM. I was looking at some of the walkthroughs, and the prettiest radio in the whole Hamfest must have been that SBE. I mean, everybody, they stopped and focused on that thing, and I think it was a SB33. What is that thing, Cliff? Was that a 10 meter 6 or something? No, that was a HF rig they made. I guess 80 through 10. I guess I don't remember. Was that inside? I guess it was inside. Seemed like I remember seeing one in there. But yeah, they're kind of different looking. That was early sideband engineers. I guess is what SBE was. They had one that didn't have a power transformer. They used some kind of a voltage doubler. You had to watch which way you plugged it in, or you'd have a hot chassis. But they made them pretty compact, and I guess that was one of the reasons they didn't have a power transformer in there.
Well, I don't know. They done the right thing on cosmetics. Of course, back then everything looked different than it does now, but I really like that style. That blue and chrome went together. Steve, you know what I'm talking about. But that radio just stood out with everything around it on the table.
Oh yeah, I walked past that thing several times, and I've seen them before, and they really stand out. I mean, they're really pretty little things. Baby blue and chrome and all that stuff. A one-of-a-kind rig, that's for sure. but I can't think of anything that an HF transceiver that was more, I guess you might call it Art Deco, 50s type thing. But I remember back when I was a kid seeing one at the used ham place up in Huntington, West Virginia, where I live close by. There was a big TV supply parts place, and they had a little ham room in there. They sold used ham equipment, and they had one sitting in there. I thought, that thing looks a little sissy at the time. At least that was my opinion of it. But I don't know, the rest of them that SBE made weren't quite so striking in their appearance. So anyway, I think I've finally got this live stream going here, and we'll see how it turns out. WB4 and everybody, this is N4LQ.
Go ahead, Cliff.
Yeah, N4LQ, it's WB4NKL. Okay, Steve. Yeah, I've seen a lot of boat anchors. There was quite a few boat anchors down there, but didn't seem like there were too many people buying. I know Billy took a stack of transmitters, and I don't think he sold any of them. He ended up buying another Ranger, but he brought me a couple of the parts Rangers, and people were looking at them until I had to hide them. I guess most people there, they were buying if it was a bargain. Steve got a nice that GPR 90. That's a nice receiver. I thought about going. I already got a GPR 90. I thought about going talking to Ron about the sideband converter. That's something you don't see, but I'm glad you got it all as a package, Steve. Speaker, no, I don't think I've ever seen the speaker, so that's pretty good package deal. I've got another GPR 90 lined up from a fella. He's supposed to bring me to next Ham Fest we get together. It's a sort of a kit GPR 90. He'd taken it apart and had the front panel refinished, and I've got to pick it up and put it all back together whenever we can get together. I seen him at Shelby, but he forgot to bring it to Shelby. So one of these Ham Fests we'll get together on it. Go ahead, Larry. It's WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff. It's WB4NKM. Well, you said something was coming up pretty recently, pretty soon. I mean, another tailgate or something, antique radio maybe. I noticed there was on YouTube there's some audio files. There was some people just looking for audio equipment, and I saw one on the table. Somebody made a video. It was a Macintosh amp. It was wrapped up in plastic, and boy, it had a high dollar on it. I know if Tommy was there, he'd probably slobber all over that one. That stuff go for that. I mean, that's got real popular these days. I remember when you could get those things for a song. N4LQ, WB4NKM.
Okay, WB4NKM, N4LQ. Well, yeah, this GPR, well, you saw it. I mean, it looks factory fresh, and their construction practices were beyond reproach. I mean, it's all aluminum and big, thick, heavy aluminum frame inside, and that crazy sideband adapter. That thing, it feels like about 40 pounds. And there's nothing to it, really. I mean, electronically, not much to it. They did like real narrow bandwidth, I'll say that. For instance, on the GPR 90, the crystal filter starts out in the wide position of 2 kc. 2 kc. That's the first step. and then it goes down to 1.5, 1.5, and 0.25 kc. And then there's a audio selector, they call it, that has a normal, low pass, and a peak at 1200. And then it's also got an audio spread knob that is labeled sharp and wide. It's a pot. It doesn't do anything, and I got to work on that. And I don't think the selector thing is working. So that's, and the RF gain control is falling off, and it's intermittent, of course, because when you turn it, the whole pot turns. So it's pretty easy to work on, just 4 or 5 screws, and it just slides out of that cabinet. Kind of heavy though. So I'll get that out, and I've got the sideband adapter apart, slid it out, and it was way out of alignment. Somebody had what you call tighten up the screws, tighten up the oscillator coil. So it was way out, went nowhere near 455 kc. Now get this. This is how this thing works. You feed 455 kc in, and it's got an oscillator that operates at either 3 kc or 3 kc above or 3 kc below 455. So do the math there. And then that is continuously variable with the frequency knob. But it goes in, those go into a mixer, and it gets mixed and comes out 17 kc. Well, now I told you wrong. It's 20 kcs above 455, above and below. So it's adjustable 17 above and below 455 kc, and then the mixer mixes them, and out comes 17 to 20 kc. So it goes through a 3 kc wide audio filter, which is centered on 17 kc. No, it's not centered on it. It would be centered on halfway in between, I guess. So it goes from 17 to 20 kcs wide, and that is very selective. That's a great big heavy transformer encased with I'm sure there's capacitors in there too. So it's really, really narrow. It's more narrow than I like it, really. It even seems sharp on CW. But boy, sideband comes out and there's nothing gets around that. Let's see, does it go to Cliff WB4NKL N4LQ?
N4LQ WB4NKL. If you guys having any trouble copying me, I can switch over to another rig. If not, I'll stay on this little TX86 a while longer. I guess the band should be improving though. I wonder if they're going to have the Monday night Eagle Med. I guess it's tonight. If they're going to have it, they probably have to clear out before too long. Let them get that started. Now Larry's talking about the meets. There's it's a meet over at Asheville at the Radio Museum this coming Saturday. Out in the parking lot, a little swap, and the next weekend I guess I'll be going to Kutztown, Pennsylvania to an antique radio meet, and then the week after that is Morristown's little ham fest they're having in Dandridge this year. So it's a busy month here in the month of September. Plus we've got the week after that, the daughter Amber's wanting to go up to that Kentucky to the Ark that we've never been to. So they're keeping me busy this month on the weekends and through the week too. So guess this month will go by in a hurry. Be gone before I know it. Go ahead, Larry. WB4NKM. It's WB4NKL.
WB4NKL. WB4NKM. You're still holding up real good on me, Cliff. You were past 40 over here, and was starting to take a little dive there on the last, but perfect copy. Still sounding real good. No, you don't need to hook nothing else up on me. And well, they'll have good weather, I guess, hopefully, for all of them events. Well, it sure is hot here now. My thermometer's out in the sun. It's showing 101. But the sun's come around where it's hitting the thermometer hanging under the oak tree. I noticed it was kind of warm today out there. I hadn't been out doing anything today. We just kind of been resting up a little bit. Variable IF, I wonder if the new receivers have that capability today, Steve, like that Malachite or the new receiver you got. Can you vary the IF on it? N4LQ, WB4NKM.
Okay, was there another person there that tried to break in? Uh-oh.
Got a carrier, no audio.
Yeah, that's what I saw. No, just a big, strong carrier, no audio. Who is that? Give us a call sign in Morse code.
I think it's me, WB4NKL. You got any audio now?
Yeah, you got. Okay, Dave. We copy now.
Yeah, I didn't mean to bother you boys, but I'm on the Ranger without the dummy load into the SB220, and I was just wondering if there's still a hum on the Ranger barefoot. Over.
Yeah, you got a little hum. It's not severe, but it's there if you want to know. And the audio, I don't know what to say about the audio, but what kind of microphone are you using?
It's an unamplified D104 that I got at that museum tail meet last year. Over.
Yeah, okay. It's a little stiff sound, a little narrow, I guess. But anyway, I've heard a lot better audio out of you with your other rigs, ART-13 and so forth. But I will say I think it's better than it was last time I heard it.
Okay. It says it's only putting out about 35 watts. I've not really done much retuning since I've pulled the dummy load out of the circuit. Yeah, what I mainly wanted to find out was if the hum was coming because I was running through the dummy load into the SB220 or if it was in the transmitter. So it sounds like it's in the transmitter itself and just amplified. Anyway, boys, I don't want to interrupt you. Go right ahead. I was just sitting here listening. WB4NKL.
Oh no, we need it. We need to be interrupted. You got some way of keying that with the turn the mic all the way down so we can ascertain where it's coming from?
Roger, stand by. I'll just run the mic all the way down. All right, that was the mic all the way down, I think. N4LQ in the group, WB4NKL.
It went away. The hum went away immediately when you turned it down. Sounds good and clean. It's that mic. I blame it on the microphone, Dave.
Okay, well, that tells me what I needed to know. Carry on, boys. I'll listen a minute. WB4NKL.
Well, don't go away. We'll check on you periodically. Here's N4LQ. And Larry, your question about the malachite, does it have the features that this GPR does, it's got so many more features I can't even name them, but these SDRs like this don't have any. There's no IF. That is a archaic term when it comes to direct sampling. And what they do, they got a chip in there that samples the signals across a wide swath of the spectrum millions of times per second, and changes the whole spectrum into a string of bits. It takes those bits and slices them up into little segments so you can listen to those and convert them back to audio again. So it is not even close to being the same technology. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. I should have used that. But I was out there, and still trying to recover from the weekend. I'll say good afternoon to Dave, WB4LLR on the side there. It's WB4NKM, and yeah, I think you've got a microphone. My brother Tommy ran into almost identical situation on his Valiant. Last time we talked to him, we had get him to change microphones, but same scenario, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, it's pretty common. That particular D104 he's using, I think it's shown up before and needs to be looked at. But there's some advantages to using the amplified, and I found less hum usually with the amplified than with the straight crystal version. Let's see, the temperature here is 85, okay on the 101, but that's in the sun. I guess that doesn't count. So, and Asheville, I've got it on the radar for Saturday. I hope to go there. I think it kind of depends on how I feel when I get up in the morning, but it's about an hour drive from here, so I might go up there and just hang out, look around. I don't have any idea about trying to sell anything, so go ahead there. Oh, by the way, I've got an advantage when it comes to hearing hum. I've got a big subwoofer down here this SDR is hooked to, and if there's a hum, I will hear it. But on my PMR8, I probably wouldn't have even said anything. Go ahead, Cliff, N4LQ.
Yeah, I'm running my little Drake 2A receiver and into sort of a small speaker. I could detect some hum, but it wasn't real objectionable. But the sounds a little pinched up on audio, so that's the reason I'm thinking it's a mic. It's not got the quality that should be there. Larry's Ranger sounds a lot different. So I would guess it is the mic. Either that or he's got something in the preamp stages or something that's not quite right. But it could all be in the microphone, sounds like. Yeah, those SDRs or something else. I remember the first time I'd ever been around one of those, that technology was a guy had recorded the whole spectrum on one, and then he went back and this was after the fact. You could still tune around like you were. It's not quite up to where I want to see it on the meters, but they say it sounds all right. Steve, I looked at the unloaded B plus is 504 volts, so it's probably dropping down to 450 there with under key. I can't really get to it without electrocuting myself, so I'm not going to measure it under load.
Well, Roger, I think mine's a lot higher than 600. I suspect it's closer to 650 or maybe even 700. I can't remember. But, yeah, anyway, I was listening to you on the GPR 90 here. It sounds pretty good. But I had my headphones on, so that makes a difference. But, yeah, the audio's fine on it. Sounds really clean. And everybody I talked to said they really like the sound of the Amico. Now, I sat here the other day, and I was switching back and forth between the LMAC and the Amico, and to me, the LMAC sounded a little bit better. But by the time it travels through the ionosphere, things might be different. Go ahead, Larry, N4LQ.
Well, he's got it. To me, it sounds good. Not a thing in the world wrong with it. I think Bob Hall, he runs one of those once in a while, if I'm not mistaken. Fellas, I'm going to jump out here, and I don't know when that net's off, but they may be firing up here directly. I'm going to go in here and get me something to drink and check on the wife. And we'll maybe be back a little bit later after that, maybe. Enjoyed it, C73s, and I'll turn it over to Dave to take it, WA4LLR, WB4NKM.
Okay, Larry. WB4NKM and the group WA4LLR. Well, I switched over to the TX1. Hopefully it's not humming. I hope it's not anyway. So I'm listening. I'm on it in the 390A. I turned the Ranger back off. I'll have to try a different microphone on it before we do much more. And if it hums with another mic, then like Cliff said, it's being the preamp or something. No, I was sitting here fooling with that TS2000, and I was listening to you guys on it. And I said, I believe I'll fire the Ranger up without the amp and see if it's still got the hum. So I appreciate you boys listening to that. Anyway, so we got two TX86s going now. Oh man. Well, I've got to get busy. Well, maybe I have some time while I'm recuperating from the sawbones. See if I can get a power supply together or something for that little Babcock and see if I can get it going. I guess it goes to Cliff. WB4NKL, WA4LR.
Okay, Dave, yeah, we'll catch you later, Larry. I can't stay around too much longer. It's about meal time here. Dave, I was going to tell you, I looked at that scope today. It had a 2K 10-watt resistors opened up in the power supply, so I changed that out, and I believe it's going to be all right. So that's a good sharp trace compared to. They made some improvements on that scope over the earlier versions. They've got an astigmatism adjustment and plus the focus, and it's got a real sharp trace on it compared to those earlier kit scopes. So I'll try to bring that back to you. If you're going to make it to Asheville, I'll load that in the vehicle and bring it back to you there Saturday. And let's see, Steve, I'll look at that schematic in a minute when I get to the computer, and I'll try to duplicate that Amico power supply. I think I've got the perfect transformer, size-wise and voltage-wise, to pretty much duplicate that. So, and then it's got, I think it was out of a color TV that had a voltage doubler circuit. That's what this transformer come out of. So I'll make a dedicated power supply for the Amico. This supplies one I was running on the Morrow twins, and I don't think they like or they wanted more towards 500 volts. Is the reason I built it for that voltage range. N4LQ is WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL, N4LQ. Well, another thing you guys can do is look at the live stream. I started it a while ago, and go to my channel, YouTube channel, and it's the first one there you'll see. And you got to click on live, though. It's not video, it's a live tab, and you'll see that. And be able to hear yourself, see what those things sound like. But yeah, it's fun jumping around between all these different old transmitters. I'm really anxious to hear that Babcock. Somebody had one of those, what was it, little Gonset things? The one with the little door on the front panel that you put a coil in. What was that thing called? Cliff? I forgot.
Commander. And who ended up with it?
I don't know. I saw it there and I was tempted, but I think they're just good looking, and of course it just had that one coil. I just didn't want to fool with the coil, but I think it's the same guy that had my Gonset G63, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though.
Several people was talking about it. John Weiner, he was talking about it. I had one of the little transmitters one time. I didn't have the VFO, and I don't think I had any coils, so I let it go at a hamfest. I didn't hang on to it. But yeah, that's another small one, and it's a tuned circuit. I mean, that VFO, I think all it is it goes down, hooks to the front panel. I believe it's just a tuned circuit that plugs in there, and the VFO is actually using the transmitter deal, sort of like that transmitter that Dave picked up, the Babcock. Did you ever get the manual on it, Dave?
I've got it on the computer. I've not downloaded it or anything yet. Yeah, I went by and looked at that Gonset, and I noticed he only had one coil for it, and I tried talking him down a little. He wouldn't come down a dime on it. If he'd have come down a little, I'd have brought it home. But when I was looking at those, that little tank coil deal that it needed, and I said, Lord, it would be a monobander for sure till I found or fabricated some, and since he wouldn't cut any, I left it with him. But it sure was a cute little rascal. My problem is I'm eat up with cuteness. I got too many little cute rigs around here. Oh me! But anyway, something odd and different. N4LQ, WA4LR.
Was that QEJ? I'm not copying that.
That's Dan, CDJ. Dan, I'm just running about 20 watts. That's WB4NKL. Go ahead if you can copy.
This is Dan. Take care. Yeah, I got you, Dan. W2CDJ, WA4LLR. Yeah, this is Dave. Anyway, I'm copying you pretty good. I'm just running Apache barefoot. Go ahead and make one. W2CDJ, WA4LR.
Okay, fine business. I got to turn that feedback down first. I had a Flex 1500 receiver sitting over there, unswitched by the antenna, but it seemed to hear me pretty good today, so I turned it off. Anyway, I just heard you in there. I listen to you guys every morning around 7:30, 7:45, Larry, and every once in a while I think I'm going to break in, but then I just don't, because I kind of wait to hear old Norm, W7IUC. You guys are going to have to give him a phone call and tell him to get off his hindside and get down out of the shack and get on the radio or something. I don't know. He's a good old guy. Think a lot of Norm. We lived down there in Sweetwater, Tennessee, and that's where I met Norm and Virgil and W4LJ and good bunch of guys down there. Kind of miss hearing him. That's about the only reason I broke in. WB4LLR, Whiskey 4, Charlie Delta Juliet. Dan in Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Okay, Dan, W4CDJ, I had you in the wrong call district. WA4LLR Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina. Yeah, Norm gets on about once every 2 weeks. Every now and then I have to call him. He says the medication he's on keeps him so sleepy he can't hardly do anything. But we've got Cliff in here, WB4NKL. He's running a little Amico TX86. And we got Steve down in Shelby, N4LQ. Let's see, Cliff, are you copying Dan, WB4NKL in the group, WA4LLR?
Yeah, that's WB4NKL. Good copy on Dan. And Dan, I'm just running about 20 watts, so I don't know if he copied me or not. Trying out this little Amico TX86. The transmitter is smaller than the receiver, and the receiver's a Drake 2A today. So it's a little tiny thing. Can you copy it? Don't think it's making it, Dave.
Dan, were you copying Cliff there, over?
This is W4CDJ returning. W4LR. Sorry about messing up your handle there, Dave. Had Larry on the moon, I guess. Well, I could tell there was somebody in there, and I think he said he was on a 20-watt rig, and that's about all I got. So, not real good up here, 24 miles west of Cincinnati, Ohio, but I know there's a carrier, and I did hear 20 watts. Over.
Yeah, he's running an Amico, a little Amico TX86, putting out about 20 watts. But he says he's copying you quite well. He's in Limestone, Tennessee. Well, let me see if Steve is copying you. N4LQ. Steve, are you hearing Dan, WA4LLR?
Okay, yeah, Dan, W4CDJ and 4LQ. Yeah, I copy you real good, and especially at the distance you are. And I was just looking on the map. You're not too far away from Rising Sun on the Indiana side and Rabbit Hash on the Kentucky side. I used to have a good ham friend that lived in Rabbit Hash, but he ended up moving over to the big city later on. And I went up there one day to visit him. Back when I was a kid, I was about 17 years old, I guess, and went up there to see him in Rabbit Hash. So anyway, you're all sounding great, really good here. I got a new radio ordered. It's a AirSpy Discovery, and it's supposed to be a pretty good little SDR, so I'm anxious to get that and compare it to the SDR Play and the Malachite, see how it does. So be on the lookout for that. So I guess, let's see, did somebody check out? Larry, are you still here?
I think he checked out, and I think I will. I got the dinner call, so 73s, and enjoy it. Might try to get back on later tonight if the conditions permit. Go ahead, Davis. WB4NKL. Now clear.
All right, Cliff. 73. Have a good dinner or supper. And the little rig sounds really good. It certainly does. Well, Dan, you're sounding good down this way this evening. I wonder what you're running up there. W4CDJ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR in the group signing, I guess. This is W4CDJ returning. We're on a Ranger in a homebrew amplifier. pretty close to frequency. That might be more better. But on Cliff's last transmission, I heard him fine business, so I'm thinking he probably switched transmitters there on his sign out. And he was booming in up here. The other guy, Steve, N4LQ, he was right down the noise floor. I could tell there was somebody there, but I got about an S6, S7 noise floor here. You know, it's early in the evening, so that's just the way it works. I'm sure later in the evening it'll be fine, but it's all good. I didn't mean to break in, but I just heard you in there, Dave, and we need to get Norm out of his house and into the shack and get him moving around a little bit. Somehow, some way. That's about the only thing I wanted to say. So you guys have a good evening. I'll say 73 to all of you and get out of here and quit bothering you. And appreciate you picking me up there, Dave. WB4NKL in the group. W4CDJ.
All right, Dan, no problem. Come in any time that you hear us on. We like to hear you and enjoy talking to you. So you have a good evening. God bless. 7-3. We'll look for you again, and yeah, we'll try to rouse Norm out here before long. Well, Steve, I didn't hear what you say which rig you were on today. N4LQ, WA4LR.
Okay, WA4LR, N4LQ. Yeah, I just kicked on the amplifier, so Dan up there could probably hear me now. You copying now, Dan? Over.
Good signal. S8.
All right. Well, I guess that brought me out of the noise floor. Yeah, I'm on the LMAC AF68, and I'm listening right now. I'm listening on the SDR Play and streaming that on the internet, and driving the AL1200 to 300 watts carrier or thereabouts, and I got the PMR8 turned on so I can actually listen to both at the same time, but I got to be careful because the audio from the LMAC gets here first, and the LMAC from the SDR has to go the long way through all the transistors and chips and everything. So did we have somebody else break in there?
Yeah, me, KM4RCL. Good day, Steve and Dave and whoever else is in here.
Okay, hi Chad. Good to hear you, and I think somebody doubled on you there. Who was the other station?
Sorry about that, Chad, and W4WWC. Stopping by to say good afternoon.
Well, did you kiss the ground whenever you got back to Tennessee, Mark?
Say again, Chad.
Did you kiss the ground whenever you got back to Tennessee? Because of the taxes I was discussing Friday night?
No, not really. I know what it tastes like, but I enjoyed it. Had a good trip down there this weekend. Good to see you and your dad and everybody else, but good to see everybody. I enjoyed it as always. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. It all seems like it balances out. We all owe life to whatever the government we are living underneath. KM4RCL, go ahead, Dave. Make one.
All right. Let's see here. I'm a little bit low, looks like. Let me come up just a hair. I'm still a little bit low. Close enough. KM4RCL on W4 WW Charlie, WA4LR. Good evening, Chad. Good evening, Mark. You guys are sounding good. And good to have Dan in here with us for a while. I was just down here experimenting with one of the radios I picked up in Shelby. the TS2000. I was tuning around, heard Steve and Cliff yakking away, and Larry. So I flipped on something else and decided to talk to them a little bit. But everybody's doing good. And yeah, Steve, when you put the other rig on, you about blew my speaker out up here. Doing a good job. Anyway, N4LQ, WA4LLO.
Yeah, it tends to do that. Well, when you go from 25 watts to 300, and gosh, it's kicking up to about 15. Hello, yeah, about 1200 watts PEP. So that is a big difference. Well, Chad, I'm sorry I missed you there. I kept asking people where you were, and nobody had seen you. So you were doing a good job of hiding out. I don't know where you were hiding, but I couldn't find you. And I knew who to look for with those Superman glasses. I can always tell it's Chad. So, and Mark, good to hear you, W4WWC. I have got to get off here for a few minutes, and then I may come back. I'm just going to, and if you want to hear what you've been sounding like, switch over to my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to hear it. If you don't know what it is, I can email it to you. But anyhow, been having a lot of fun with that lately. And so Dave, you sound much better now. That Apache, it doesn't have any lows. But it's very articulate and clear, and plenty of highs. So it's a good sound. It makes it good for AM. Who in the world does it go to? W4WWC, N4LQ.
N4LQ from W4WW Charlie. Okay, Steve. Good to hear you as always. Booming up here with me on Poverty Hill, and we're back on the ART-13, listening on the 390 that I picked up in Shelby this weekend. Prearranged deal, but thanks to John. He took care of us there. Cliff and I both got one, and it seems to be holding up, doing what it's supposed to do. I've been all over the place with it, so it passed. But golly, I think there's four. Well, let's see. I've got two 390As, a 390, and a 391, and a 392. So as far as the 390 class, should be good shape, but getting ready to go eat a little bout of supper here. I just heard you guys on there and wanted to stop by and say good afternoon. Looking forward to getting on the net in the morning there. I'll send it on around and see what's happening. WA4LLR from W4WWC. Okay. See if I can pause that thing. Listening to Steve's live stream. Steve, if you're listening, I see you've got the video end of it straightened out. Nice picture, and really good sounding audio. So congratulations on that. Well, sound like you've got a few military receivers there, Mark. Oh, Lordy mercy. I've not got that many military receivers here. Let's see, what have I got? I've got this 390A. I've got a BC342N, and I believe those are the only two military receivers I've got. Yep, I think so. I sold all my ARC 5 equipment. Yep, I think just those two are the only military rigs that I've got, or receivers. Transmitter-wise, I've got the 610C and the RT-13, and I think that's it on military transmitters. But anyway,
I'll hang in here about one more go-round before I go off in search of something else. KN4RCL, WA4LLR.
Dave, let me ask you a question. Is that a Viking Kenwood 2000? Is that right? I figured that since E.F. Johnson and Kenwood bought E.F. Johnson, so it might be a Viking Kenwood. So I was just wondering, Steve, what's your YouTube page? Go ahead, Steve, tell me on top of them.
Okay, I got done what I had to do. I'm back, but my YouTube channel, that's what you need to go to, and you can get to all of them. And that's my name, Steve Ellington, which is on QRZ, of course. But if you just look up Steve Ellington and go to the live tab, not the video, but the live tab, and the latest one will be up there streaming right now. You got that, Chad?
Got Steve Harvey.
Well, that's close enough. He's probably funnier than I am.
Okay, I think I got it now. NKL and let's see, which one you got? Shelby and everything. I probably walked by you a dozen times. I don't see how you missed me. I was looking for you, but I've never seen no red Nissan truck.
Oh, it was there. Was that? Did you not come until Saturday?
I was there Friday and Saturday both.
Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. Now, I did not hang around the truck because I didn't have anything for sale, so I spent all my time roaming, and we probably passed each other like two ships in the night.
I went by your space, and your space was empty.
Well, if it was empty, then I was gone. I left Saturday in the morning, probably around 10 o'clock, something like that.
You was in space 41, wasn't you?
That is correct.
I went.
Yeah, well, I guess I had already gone, but yeah, I was in 41.
Got some interesting radios on your YouTube page.
Okay, well, you have fun with that. And yeah, Dave, I don't know, a TS2000, they do sound good on AM. I hate to admit that, but they do. But still, though, just knowing that it's a rice box kind of hurts.
I know what you mean. Oh, Lordy. No, I hadn't planned on running it on AM. I was just listening to you guys on it. I'd probably have to be in a moment of desperation to run it on AM, but I picked it up for other reasons. And Chad, I don't see Viking on it anywhere, or Johnson. So I'm afraid it's just a plain old Kenwood TS2000. Oh, Lordy. Steve, I guess the main reason I picked it up was for the satellite end of it. I keep thinking I'm going to someday, get back into the LEO birds. And I like the fact that it has the capability of monitoring aircraft comms. So it was one of those impulse buys. The guy came down so far on the price, I couldn't resist it. Over.
Yeah, I saw some guy up on the hill, up back toward the entrance where we came in. He had a 2000 sitting there, and I had one back in 2000. It's one of the most complicated radios. If you take advantage of all that satellite tracking and Boy, it does everything. But now, aren't you the one that said there's a Viking 2 on Mars? Is that correct?
But I think the finals are bad in it, over.
Okay, I was going to say that would be quite a payload to take to Mars with you. But I would say it's reliable, and it probably takes a little bit too much AC power to run the thing. Anyway, what do you think about that, Chad? He was talking about a Viking 2 that went to Mars.
Well, I'll tell you, I was witness both of them when he bought that radio and when I can tell you this, he went in the camper and made sure his wife was sleeping real good, and he went and bought the radio. And next thing I know, he throws it down there on the table and started hunting a mic for it. So he made sure the coast was clear before he left, and I was a witness on that also with Billy this morning on that microphone of down there. That guy was wanting to buy one at full price. He said he could buy one from full price before he can buy one from you. Go ahead, microphone seller.
I guess you're referring to me there. KN4RCL from W4 WWC. Fine business there. Yep, the TS2000, from what I've heard on sideband, they are a dynamite sounding radio. They sound real good. But congratulations on that procurement there, Uncle Dave. I'm sure it'll make you pretty good rig. I think I'm gonna bow out of here and go upstairs, and I've had a supper call. But like I say, I had this thing on, listening on the 390 that we picked up down there, and I heard you guys on there. Want to jump in here and say good afternoon. Everybody is booming in here real good. But good to hear you on here, and we'll try to do it again in the morning if nothing don't happen, and I'll send it on around to I guess Cliff. He's not here anymore, but WA4LLR from W4 WWC. We'll say 7-3.
All right, Mark, fine business. I think they got a net that starts up here pretty quick, so I'm going to say 73 on this one. You have a good evening, and we'll catch you boys a little later. I enjoyed it. Steve, thanks for the signal reports. Chad, will talk to you in the morning, Lord willing. So everybody take care. N4LQ, WA4LLR, 7-3.
Roger, we're out of here too. Thanks, gentlemen, for showing up. 73, have a good evening. N4LQ will be clear.
Okay, and we'll get ready for the net. KN4RCL. I gotta go that way and get back out in the field on the tractor. KN4RCL. Talk to you in the morning.